What's going on, everybody? It's your soon-to-be favorite gamer here, Combat God 27, and today is a very special day. I have my lovely wife Heather here with me, Lady Combat herself, and we are doing something a little bit different. I'm excited. It's the first episode of my Conversations pieces. Now, round one is going to be a little bit of a spoilery-filled review of the Han Solo movie, which we've seen a couple times now. Did you like it?
I did, but I slept the first time.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie about
it's pretty slow part of the way through, but we're going to get into some of that. We're going to talk about lots of, like I said, spoilery things. So if you haven't seen the movie, you can watch this, but I'm going to give away all the good stuff. So let's get right into it. Let's start off, I'll lead off with talking about the opening sequence. Yet again, just like in Rogue One, there is no crawl. We get a little bit of a story. There's still the long time ago pops up. No fanfare from the Star Wars music or anything, but it explains, we're on Corellia. We have a young Han Solo. And it talks about Lady Proxima, who is the villain of Corellia, the slave master, if you will. And we meet Alden Ehrenreich's character of Han Solo. What did you think as a newly acquired fan to the Star Wars series? What did you think about not having a crawl in this movie?
It didn't really need a crawl. It told you what you needed to know.
So you didn't think it was
No.
weird? You didn't think it was weird in Rogue One?
No.
Okay, so I guess that's personal preference. If you're a big Star Wars fan, you might have thought the crawl was something missing. I tend to agree with you that they explained the story well with the few lines of text that they put up, explaining where we were, who we were watching, what it was all about. So, not really a big deal, something you can get over. Okay, so we don't have the opening crawl. We have this sort of escape sequence to start the movie, where, we have Han Solo and Emilia Clarke's character. I forget her name. Please excuse me. But we meet Lady Proxima, who is, like I said, the slave master of Corellia, basically. And she's voiced by the great Linda Hunt, who I immediately recognized from the God of War series as the narrator.
And I recognized from Kindergarten Cop, too. Totally different.
Okay, well, either way, this big, weird alien snake thing pops up, and this is Lady Proxima, voiced by Linda Hunt. Should it have been a subtitled alien voice?
100%. She is not intimidating with the...
I don't think necessarily it's even about being intimidating. I think that going back to the originals with Jabba the Hutt, that character was so... It brought something different to the bad guys that you're always used to seeing.
Right.
And, they're speaking an alien language. You don't even understand what they're saying. You have the subtitles. It seems more intense when you don't have this big creature speaking like a little old lady,
right.
Basically. This scraggly, grainy creature.
I'll get you, my
anyways,
pretty.
That's enough about that, because that's something that I could have completely erased from the movie. I don't care
it
for
bothers
any
me
of
too.
the Corellia stuff. I always pictured Corellia as this. It's supposed to be a planet where they manufacture starships and stuff. So I just pictured in my head something different. But we have this escape sequence, and we get name.
He almost started crying.
Okay,
both
so
times. It was...
So
pretty
the thing,
intense.
I'm going to be really fast about this, because this is absolutely the thing that I hate the most about this movie.
Me too.
His name, it comes from nowhere. He goes to hide out and join the Imperial Star Force, and this throwaway character comes up with his name. He
Who
says
are your
he's
people? I have no people.
He says he's by himself.
So you're alone.
Solo. Okay.
Like, seriously?
That absolutely makes no sense. I don't think they really thought about how that would affect the Han Solo fans because Han Solo is my favorite from the original trilogy. I'm a huge Luke Skywalker fan, and I love the Jedi and the Force. But Han Solo,
Is
the
something all
perfect
his own.
anti-hero, scoundrel, suave.
Scruffy.
I mean,
Nerf.
everything that Harrison Ford brought to that character made
They
him.
kind of took some of it away from him, giving him his name.
I won't necessarily. No, I don't think so. I don't think this movie doesn't take anything away from what Harrison Ford did with Han Solo.
I'm just saying Han Solo in general, not necessarily Harrison Ford.
The name. His name should mean something.
And it doesn't mean
They
shit.
make it mean squat. Let's move on from that because we're kind of getting slowed down here by hanging up on details. Woody Harrelson. Woody Harrelson as the mentor for Han Solo. What did you think of Woody Harrelson? You thought he was good as the good bad guy?
I love Woody Harrelson in anything. But
Oh, sure. He's a funny guy. A respectable guy. I mean, he's done bad things. He's done good things.
Well, and I think he played the character well, but some of it goes back to writing. I'm with you on the... I knew he was going to betray him because he basically told him he was going to betray him.
Right, yes, he does. Okay, well, we'll get into that a little bit later, but going back to the writing, that's something I wanted to talk about too. Lawrence Kasdan, who helped George Lucas create the Star Wars universe and came up with the character of Han Solo, is the man who wrote this movie with the help of his son. Why would you throw these details away like they're meaningless, such as the name? And as far as Woody Harrelson goes with being the mentor, I think he played the mentor role well. But
you stuck up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder.
Going on to this heist thing. I can't remember the name of the pilot for Woody Harrelson's crew, but he's an alien voiced by Jon Favreau, who is a genius. He directed The Jungle Book. He was Monica's boyfriend on Friends at one time. He's supposedly taking over the Star Wars TV series for their streaming service, for Disney's streaming service. So I'm super excited about that. But that gets me into the fact that just like in Rogue One, when these characters die, because Jon Favreau's character, I can't think of what Woody Harrelson's girlfriend's name is, but they both die, and I couldn't care less, right? You're with me?
No attachment whatsoever.
Just like in Rogue One, none of these characters meant a thing to me.
They weren't developed characters.
I mean, well, but they didn't last into the second act of the movie, which, I mean, you shouldn't feel a lot for them, but you really don't feel anything for any of these characters except for Han and Chewie and Lando throughout the whole movie. Those are the only three people that I really cared anything about. So, and that gets us into a little bit more of some of the other characters, the bad guys, the Red Dawn, which we don't find out till a little bit later that Emilia Clarke is a bad guy, but Paul Bettany's character, Voss, who he was Chaucer in A Knight's Tale. I can't think of anything else he's been in recently.
Usually plays some kind of crazy guy.
He was in A Beautiful Mind. He was Russell Crowe's roommate, that he kept seeing. Oh man, he's such a great actor, and I thought he did a fantastic job in this playing the villain. He was super calm and not too Dr. Evil-ish. But there's not really a lot I wanted to say about the Red Dawn. Other than Paul Bettany, I thought was good as the villain. He was kind of behind the scenes the whole movie.
Mysterious.
Right. But let's talk about the Chewbacca stuff, how he meets Chewbacca. This is going back to the heist, before the heist, where they capture Han Solo. Woody Harrelson throws him away to the guards. This guy's a traitor. And
throw him to the beast.
Right, and they say, throw him to the beast. And then you find out the beast is actually Chewie.
Right.
And we knew that Han Solo was going to meet Chewie in this movie. Is it the best way that they could have met? No. Did it work? Yes, I thought so. It was funny.
Liked it. I mean, they basically helped each other and started a life together.
What about the
fact
him
that
speaking
he could speak
Chewbacca's language?
That was pretty cool.
Okay, I dug it a little bit. I mean, he went a little overboard with it, but it was funny. And then they work, and then they throw it to the subtitles, which I love the subtitles on the alien voices. You can never give me enough of that in a Star Wars movie because it just adds to the extension of the universe as a whole. There's millions of languages in the Star Wars universe. Let's use them and subtitle them. So Chewbacca, one of my favorite parts of the movie, absolutely. Donald Glover, though, was he your favorite part of the movie?
Donald Glover was awesome. He was as you've said, he oozed Lando.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Their interaction together was amazing.
Sure, yeah. Oh, by far,
my favorite solo anything had Donald Glover in them.
Right. All the interactions between Lando Calrissian and Han Solo were great Star Wars moments, I thought. All the interactions between Chewbacca and Han Solo, I thought, were great Star Wars moments. But Lando has this droid, L3, the sassy female droid. Who I didn't really care for. I thought they tried too hard to give a resemblance to the droid from Rogue One, which happened to be the only character I did care about when they died in that movie. So what did you think of L3?
I liked L3. To me, it was a completely different robot than we've ever seen in a Star Wars movie. She had more human-like characteristics and thought processes. She wanted to break all the robots from slavery. She had more of a mind of her own.
Okay, mind of her own. I'll give you mind of her own. The stuff, the sexual tension stuff that she was talking to Emilia Clarke about in the cockpit of the Falcon, that was pretty funny. Other than that, I really didn't like L3. Other than we find out L3 is her nav computer goes into the Millennium Falcon to help them navigate through from Kessel, because we see the Kessel Run in this movie. Now, the Kessel Run, we knew we were going to get some Kessel Run stuff. They announced it really late, but did you think that the Kessel Run stuff made sense? They have to go.
As somebody that doesn't know a whole hell of a lot about Star Wars, yes, it still made sense to me, because all I knew is, I did the Millennium Falcon did the
Kessel Run in 12 parsecs.
Right, that's all.
Right. Okay, so basically, the idea is they have to get this hyperfuel from Kessel, which is this mining place, and you have to get the fuel back to be refined before it is too unstable and explodes. And so that's the Kessel Run. And so that's why they meet Lando, played by Donald Glover, who did a fantastic job, and they go on the Kessel Run. The stuff on Kessel, not memorable. Where Chewie fights to free the other Wookiees or whatever.
Yeah, it was 45 seconds. It really didn't.
But once they get back into the Falcon, they have the fuel. It's go time, and we're shooting off into the Kessel Run. And so we make it through the Kessel Run stuff, and we get to the planet to refine this hyperfuel before it explodes all over everybody. And we come across Enfys Nest again, who's basically the rival of Woody Harrelson's crew. And going back to the beginning of the movie with the heist, she shows up, and that's one of the things I don't understand about this movie
they're
is
trying
that
to kill each other. If they would just talk about the whole, it may go completely.
Because Enfys Nest reveals that she's one of the good guys, and she's trying to build this rebellion. But why couldn't they have just established that? Because supposedly they make it out like they've been fighting for years. So why haven't they figured this mess out before now? That didn't really make sense to me. But anyways, Infosness shows she's one of the good guys. Warwick Davis, who is Wicket, one of the Ewok, the little Ewok from Return of the Jedi, which I thought, that's great that he's in there. But yeah, so we find out they're good guys, and they come up with this plan to give Infosness the hyperfuel, since she's going, hey, I'm one of the good guys now. And so Beckett decides he doesn't want any part of that, and he goes off. And I thought it was pretty cool. It was a nice little Star Wars moment. He decides he doesn't want any part of this plan. He wants to just run away, and he says to Han Solo, I'll be on Tatooine. This big shot gangster is putting together a crew, which we know is Jabba the Hutt. And that's a cool little throwback everybody should pick up on. But we get to the plan, the actual plan to betray Red Dawn. So Han and Chewie take the hyperfuel right under Voss's nose. And, job well done and everything. So they think. And he has the upper hand because who walks in but Beckett, Woody Harrelson. And it was something that you could have seen coming a mile away. Because he tells him in the beginning of the movie, you have to expect everybody to betray you and you won't be disappointed. And so a light goes off in your head. He's the Judas. So that I saw coming. But so he takes Chewie and he takes the hyperfuel. And bon voyage, everybody. I'm going to run off. See you later. And a fight breaks out. The final conflict. Voss and Emilia Clarke's character fight. It was an okay little scruffle. Voss has these really cool lightsaber edge type
daggers, basically.
I don't know. I guess that's what you. They're really cool. But anyways, he bites the big one. Emilia Clarke's character takes him out, and then her and Han get a little lovey-dovey for a second, and she tells him, go off. I'm right behind you. And then we get into the weird stuff here.
Yeah.
Because
I thought it was rather strange.
Although I like that they. Because it's revealed that Emilia Clarke's character and Paul Bettany's character in the Red Dawn are part of the crime syndicate started partially by Darth Maul, who you might remember from Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. He gets cut in half by Obi-Wan Kenobi. Well, he's still alive. And people who don't follow the animated stuff might not know that, so then you're thinking, does this happen before that? But I know it happens after that. So
rather confusing.
It is confusing unless you watch the animated stuff. But I think it's good because people will ask questions like that. Oh, didn't Darth Maul die? And they can be introduced to the animated stuff.
Right.
So, although the Clone Wars isn't too great, it is worth watching in parts. Star Wars Rebels is also good, but it's not. This isn't a review of that. It's just that Darth Maul didn't really belong in this movie.
No, there was
where they put him.
That added nothing.
What are we going to see another Han Solo movie where Darth Maul is out to get him?
Probably not.
I don't think so either. So while I like Darth Maul, he's one of my favorite characters in the Star Wars universe. It didn't make sense for him to be the antagonist, like the behind-the-scenes bad guy. So I didn't really care for that. So Han gets out of the situation. He leaves Emilia Clarke's character, and he confronts Woody Harrelson and Chewbacca. And, he gives this... This is one of the Star Wars moments that I liked in this movie, was that Woody Harrelson's about to give him this big speech about, I'm about to teach you the biggest lesson that you'll ever learn. And he's telling him to shoot first. And bam, he gets it in the chest. So that was pretty cool. That was a great Star Wars moment. So, I mean, that an okay ending, I think. I don't there was lots of stuff I would have changed. I definitely wouldn't have put Darth Maul in the end of this movie. It just didn't feel right.
Well, but I mean, lots of things about this movie didn't feel what I thought they were going to be. I was surprised, I guess.
So you didn't like Darth Maul being at the end?
No, it didn't make any sense to me.
Okay, so we're getting down to the wire here. At the very end, we get the card game where finally Han Solo gets the Millennium Falcon, and it was a nice. Like I said, I love
Lando at his own game.
Right, I love the Lando Han Solo interactions in this movie. They were definitely what made the movie good. And yeah, you're right. You know, he hugs him, hey, no hard feelings, swipes his card, beats him in his own game, and he gets the Millennium Falcon. Happy ending. Definitely worth a watch. But if I had to, you know, we can't get away from this without talking about Alden Ehrenreich for a second, who played Han Solo. I thought, and a lot of other people thought, I was on board with him, that he was going to try to imitate Harrison Ford. Did not try to imitate Harrison Ford. He tried to make Han Solo his own character. Was he successful? No. Did he do the impossible? Yes. In my opinion, there was nobody in this world that could have taken the place of Harrison Ford and pulled off the character of Han Solo like he did. Nothing from this movie takes away from that, but at the same time,
it doesn't really add anything.
Yeah, it doesn't add anything. So, Alden Ehrenreich is a great actor, but I think other than not imitating Harrison Ford, he wasn't successful as Han Solo without help. Because, like I said, the Lando interactions, Donald Glover by far was the best part of this movie. The Lando interactions helped make it feel like Han Solo, because that's the parts when Alden Ehrenreich had lines to Donald Glover, it felt like a Han Solo to Lando Calrissian interaction.
Completely agreed.
So, let's rate this movie. I'm gonna give. I haven't come up with a scaling system yet, but let's say 10 stars. Okay, 10 stars. 6.5 for me. 6.5. I think it would be a little bit of a higher score if it didn't have the damn Solo
and the Darth Maul
throwaway name. The Darth Maul thing I can even live with. Lady Proxima, I did not care for. I thought she should have had subtitles. That really bothered me.
I'm going to say 6.
6 out of 10. Okay. So there it is, guys. Let us know what you thought of this. I had a lot of fun doing it. I know Heather did not. But it was fun. And if you guys don't let us know what you think of the video, I can't do more because I won't know what to do. So let me know how this is bad. Let me know if it's good. Make sure you check out my other videos. Let me know what's wrong with them. I can take it. And so, this is not the end of this series. I'm going to continue doing Conversations. We've got another couple of Star Wars videos coming soon. And I also want to do a top and worst 15 movies of all time. I'll probably do those by myself. But Heather might join me on those as well. I guess that's all I've got. Thank you to so many people that have supported me so far. I know I say so many. It's only about 15. But hopefully things like this will get you guys to keep coming back and be interested in the things that I have rolling around in my head. So until next time, may the Force be with you. Heather, would you like to say goodbye?
Goodbye.
Heather says goodbye. Until next time, peace, love, thanks.